Answer me this. Have you ever not felt like playing your guitar to where you think, I should be practicing or I should practice, but I don't feel like it. I'm just not feeling it today. Maybe tomorrow. I know that I'll feel this great gusto to practice at some point, and then, man, will I ever practice then. That is waiting on motivation. So what do you do when you don't really feel like practicing, but you know you should practice, and so then you beat yourself up about it? What is the game here? What is going on, and what can we do about it so that we can actually just love playing our guitar and just have this as a great part of our daily practice? So this is what we're going to be talking about in this video: motivation in guitar practice. I'm Alan Matthews from Classical Guitar Shed, and we're going to be talking about motivation in guitar practice. And the first thing that you can do to get motivated for your practice is to have some great music that you're playing. And to that end, I'd like to offer you a book of 30 great pieces to play on your guitar. You can look below for the link to that. It's got musical notation, fingerings, it's got the tabs if that's what you prefer, chords written in, and listen links so you can hear each of the pieces to see if you like it. It's a great little book of 30 pieces, and you can get it for free if you find the link below. So that's one thing you can do, is have some great music that you're playing so that you're excited. Before we get into other ways of feeling motivation, let's first off look at what is motivation. So motivation is this wonderful feeling of wanting to do what it is that you feel like you also need to do or should do. So motivation is this drive, this inner drive to do it. It is a feeling, and we can't really count on feelings. Feelings are so fickle. And so it's wonderful when they're there, but if we want to actually get good on guitar, we need to practice regularly, regardless of whether we feel like it or not. And we'll talk more about how to actually feel more motivation on a day-to-day basis so that it's not a drudgery very often at all. But it's good to know that motivation and that feeling is just a feeling. And if you count on it and wait for it, then you won't really play very much, because it has certain ingredients to it that come of actually already having done it, namely momentum. So getting momentum behind you. Once you've been practicing for 3 days, then the 4th day, you feel more motivated to practice. On that first day, you may not. So what we need then to be able to continue to play regularly is some sort of discipline. And people don't like the D word, and we get pictures of drill sergeants and, school marms slapping our knuckles with rulers and the whole 9 yards. But discipline is just something that we decide to do, and then we actually do it. The way to have easy discipline is to just decide once that 100% this is the way it will be, because then there's no question. For instance, if you say, I don't eat spaghetti, it's just something I don't eat, there it is. If somebody offers me spaghetti, I always say no. If it's 100%, it's very easy. It will be very easy just to say no when the spaghetti comes up. If it's 99% of the time, so most of the time I don't eat spaghetti, but sometimes I might, well then each time somebody offers you spaghetti or you pass it in the aisle, you have to decide. You have to think, do I eat spaghetti this time? And that is difficult, because that then you're going to have to use discipline to do it. It's going to be this, but I really want spaghetti. I love spaghetti. It's actually with some cracked pepper. All of a sudden, there's this big conversation going on about it, as opposed to if it's at 100% decision, there's nothing to think about. It's like, oh no thank you on the spaghetti. Just as if you were allergic. You just don't do it. So it's the exact same with practice. If you decide this is the way that I practice, or I practice at this particular time of the day, or on this cadence, then it's much easier, because then you get the momentum behind you from having practice, just like we talked about. And that makes discipline much easier. So how do you create the discipline? How do you exercise the discipline? The best thing I could recommend for you is to set low expectations. So, like we were saying, momentum is such a key driver. If you've practiced 3 days, the 4th day is easier. So all we have to do then is get those practices in. However, it's going to be difficult to practice if a definition of a practice is 2 hours of really hard work. That's going to be difficult to actually pick up your guitar if you don't feel like it and do it. However, if you have a very small definition of what success is, a practice is this: I pick up the guitar and I play 1 chord. And then I put it back down and I have practiced for the day. If that is your definition of success, it's really easy to check that box and say, great, I've practiced today. And if you do that for a couple days, then after a couple days, then you will want to do more. You will want to play more than 1 chord. You might want to do a scale or play a piece that you know. And so it will build on it. So set a low bar to success, and that way you will have done what you set out to do, which is just practice the guitar as an ongoing thing. It can also be that you just know, I never skip more than 1 day. This is a rule of mine. If I didn't practice yesterday, I will practice today. And even if that practice is just picking up the guitar and playing 1 chord, I can do that. And so that is my 100% rule, and that is what I'll do. And it's very easy if you make it easy. And making it easy is the key, because, like I said, you'll actually want to do more very soon. And if you practice really big on 1 day, then you might not feel motivated the next day. If you practice for 26 hours 1 day, then the next day you might say, I don't really feel like practicing today. I did so much yesterday. But the discipline says, still pick up your guitar and play your 1 chord, or whatever your low bar to success is. The next thing you can do to create an easier momentum and more motivation in your practice is to know exactly what the first 5 minutes of your practice will look like. Do it the same way every single time. You pick up your guitar, you tune, and while you're tuning, you relax your body, you really listen to the notes, you get into that mindset, and after you tune, you do a particular routine. And that could be some scales or some patterns and arpeggios. It could be some exercises, whatever it happens to be that you're doing. Some warm-ups with your hands, which is a great thing to do anyway. Some stretches and warm-ups. Have your first few minutes planned out and scripted so that you don't have to decide what you'll do, because that is a huge point of procrastination, and a stopping point is if you have to ask, what am I going to do? Because if you have to ask that, that's going to take some brain power, and chances are, if you're not really into it anyway, you'll just say, I don't know, maybe I'll just go have a snack, and then no practice that day. So instead, have those first few minutes scripted out, and when that time comes to pick up your guitar, then just don't even think about it. You just pick it up and do it. And then you'll be off to the races. Chances are, if you do that regularly, you'll form an anchor with your guitar so that whenever you pick up your guitar and you start tuning, you'll just get into this state, and you do your first few things and you'll get deeper into this state, and you'll be comfortable there and you'll enjoy it, and you will want to continue to practice. So it won't happen every day that way, but a lot of days it will. So motivation is a feeling. You can't trust it, you can't count on it, and certainly don't wait on it, because otherwise, you just will not get the outcomes that you want with your music. Instead, set a low bar to success, practice some discipline, and just know that momentum and motivation will be there some of the time, not all the time, but it's nice when it's there. When it's there, you don't need any discipline, because then you actually want to do it. But on the days when you don't feel it, then you'll have your discipline by having the routine, by having a low bar to success. And that will keep you going much better over time. If you would like to download this book of 30 pieces, they're really fun. There's some really nice pieces in there. People will enjoy hearing you practice them from the other room, and you can find that link below. So go forth and practice well, make it easy on yourself, and enjoy the ride. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.